Welcome back to the channel. I am, of course, the Sunday Pilot, and this is going to be something a little different on the channel because today we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I've been flying virtually in Microsoft Flight Simulator since June 2022 when PMDG released their 737-700. I've also been flying the Fenix Airbus A320, which I think has been an absolute game changer for me in the flight simulator world. Of course, in August 2022, PMDG also released this 737-800, which is what I'm flying today. And as you can see, I'm also using GSX Pro here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I purchased it on the weekend that it was released, but after a few issues I uninstalled it and then reinstalled it a few weeks later when many of the initial bugs had been fixed. Just over a week ago, at the time of recording this episode, I was telling the Real Airbus pilot how impressed I was with the new flight simulator. After installing Sim Update 10 and taking a flight from Madrid down to Malaga in Spain, I was blown away by the turbulence that I felt in the sim as I made my approach into Malaga, which is something you would experience in the real world, and it's certainly something I've experienced on every flight I've ever taken in the real world, landing in Malaga in Andalusia. So the Real Airbus pilot asked me if I would refly the approach into runway 12 at Malaga again to show him what I experienced. So I thought, why not produce another video here in the channel as part of my Sim Sunday Extra series. So what I've decided to do is to fly a short Ryanair service on board the PMDG 737-800 from Fez in Morocco up to Malaga in Andalusia, a flight of only 45 minutes. As you can see, the cockpit here in the PMDG 737-800 is very familiar. To be honest, guys, it's pretty identical to the cockpit that I flew in the PMDG 737-800 in prepared 3D version 4.5. This particular aircraft from PMDG made my conversion from prepared to Microsoft Flight Simulator very easy due to the familiarity that I already had with the aircraft systems in the PMDG 737. So I've already pre-programmed the departure here from Fez on runway 09. We'll be turning northeast shortly after departure and heading in direction of the north coast of Morocco, crossing the Mediterranean towards the Andalusian coastline in southern Spain.
Ryanair 4461 cleared to Malaga Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 09er climb and maintain 13,000 feet. Departure on 125.1 squawk tree 50 tree.
Hello Captain, we are ready for pushback. Departure check completed, bypass pin inserted. Locking gear. Release parking commencing push. All engines clear, start at will. Set parking brakes.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Locking gear. Tow track disconnected, bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
Short of runway 09er via taxiway.
I chose this particular Ryanair route between Fez and Malaga not just because it was short, but because I wanted to show you what the default scenery was like here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It is absolutely superb compared to what I had in Prepared 3D. The scenery here at Fez is completely stock. It's what you get out of the box in Microsoft Flight Simulator. However, when we get up to Malaga, you will see some free scenery that I downloaded from flightsim.to.
Ryanair 4461, QNH tree 0.0 tree, wind 150 at tree. Cleared for takeoff runway 09er.
Just before I backtrack on runway 27, I'm switching on the TCAS as normal along with the weather radar. However, at the time of recording this episode, PMDG didn't support the weather radar in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I believe this is going to be a few months away yet. And as I backtrack here on runway 27 at Fez, I should tell you that I'm using FSLTL for my traffic here in the flight simulator. Until the last weekend of September 2022, I was using simple traffic from Aerosoft. However, in a surprise gift to the flight sim community, FSLTL suddenly appeared and I installed it. And of course, uninstalled simple traffic from Aerosoft, and what a difference FSLTL has made to the immersion in the sim. I've never flown in a VATSIM, so I'm using the injector in FSLTL from Flight Radar 24, and it is absolutely superb. Right, as we taxi to the end of the runway and I do a 180 to head eastbound on runway 09, it's time for me to shut up as I get this PMDG 737-800 into the sky.
Positive rate of climb.
For me, it is the quality of the scenery that really makes Microsoft Flight Simulator compared to what I was seeing in Prepared 3D version 4.5. Everything you're seeing here in the episode is absolutely stock default from the simulator. I'm using what Microsoft and Asobo deliver out of the box using Bing Maps injected into the sim real-time live. And since Sim Update 10 in late September 2022, what a fantastic difference that update has made to the performance within the sim and the graphics of the online scenery. As we pass overhead the Mediterranean coastline of Morocco in North Africa, heading northeast towards southern Spain and therefore Europe, I want to pose the question, which is better, Prepared 3D version 4.5 or Microsoft Flight Sim 2020? So I probably should explain that since I installed PMDG and Fenix back in June 2022, when having a really good, honest, hard look at Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, I've not actually flown in Prepared again. I'm enjoying this new sim so much, I've never bothered going back to Prepared 3D version 4.5. Since Sim Update 10 in late September 2022, Microsoft Flight Simulator has been behaving a lot better because, guys, there was a lot of bugs in the earlier versions which were very frustrating. At the time of recording this episode in October 2022, there are currently no wide-bodied long-haul study-level aircraft available for the sim yet. Quality Wings have been promising their 787 Dreamliner series for more than a year now, and PMDG are soon to release their 747 and 777 sometime in mid to late 2023. But I do think that Aerosoft are going to be the first to the party by releasing their Airbus A330 for Microsoft Flight Sim sometime around Christmas 22 or even maybe early 2023. So back to my original question. In my opinion, what is better, Prepared 3D version 4.5 or Microsoft Flight Sim 2020? Guys, without a doubt, it has to be this new kid in the block, and why not? This is an evolution in PC flight simulation, while Prepared 3D version 4.5 goes back to the days of FSX, and therefore late 2008, early 2009. I could of course have upgraded my Prepared 3D version 4.5 to version 5, but why would I bother with this flight simulator available for my PC from Asobo and Microsoft? And remember, guys, that I'm a Sunday pilot and not a professional pilot, so this eye candy provided by Microsoft is at the heart of the PC flight simulator that I want to see myself flying in the future. And as a result of all of this fantastic eye candy provided by Asobo and Microsoft, I've been rediscovering the world in flight sim since June 2022. I've been flying from default airport to default airport, trying to decide which airports I would replace by buying third-party payware. I've already replaced more than a few across Europe, some in North America and one in Australia so far. However, to replace all of the add-on airports that I haven't prepared here in Microsoft Flight Sim will take me years probably, and thousands of dollars, euros and or pounds. Of course, some of the add-on scenery providers offer upgrade discounts from Prepared to Microsoft Flight Simulator. However, far too many offer nothing these days. So I'm going to continue over the next year or so flying from international airport to international airport, deciding slowly and methodically which add-on sceneries I'm going to purchase. And at the end of the day, guys, the vast majority of default airports that you find in Microsoft Flight Sim are absolutely fantastic. They're a million times better than default airports that you ever got in FSX or Prepared. So replacing them with payware airports is not a priority for me right now.
height. Decision height. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
How bad was I exiting the runway the way I did? Hey ho guys, that is Microsoft Flight Simulator for you. Welcome to Malaga in Andalusia. And as I said at the beginning of this episode, this particular airport model that I've got installed in Microsoft Flight Simulator for Malaga is freeware, which I downloaded from flightsim.to. At the time of recording this episode in early October 2022, there was no payware scenery available for Malaga in Microsoft Flight Simulator. However, I have purchased add-on airport scenery for Madrid and Barcelona on the Spanish mainland, and the scenery for those airports is absolutely excellent. And given that I will probably fly to Malaga rather a lot in the sim over the next number of years, I probably will purchase add-on scenery for this airport once it's available. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this Sim Sunday extra episode, the first in the channel where I've flown a study level aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And hopefully you will see why I've become a convert to this new flight simulator during the second half of 2022. And you may be wondering what the real Airbus pilot is saying about this new flight simulator. Well guys, he has recently upgraded his PC and he has installed Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane 12. He was telling me last night in a WhatsApp chat that all of his add-on modifications for X-Plane 11 have ported across to X-Plane 12. He also believes that the physics engine in X-Plane 12 is better than Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And that therefore begs the question, will the Federal Aviation Authority certify X-Plane 12 in the same way they did X-Plane 11? Personally, I've no experience in X-Plane 11 or X-Plane 12, so I really can't comment whether either are better or worse than Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. When it comes to third-party add-ons for these international airports, I do believe that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 will be the winner. And let's face it guys, that is simply because Microsoft will without a doubt have the volume of players. So I do wonder if there will be an outright winner. And it does make me think of the battle between VHS and Betamax back in the 1980s. But whichever wins out, as you can see, I'm pulling up to the terminal here at Malaga in southern Spain. And this is where we'll bring this episode of Sim Sunday to a close. Thank you very much for watching folks, and wherever you're flying in your virtual world, don't forget to fly safe.